You've been there. The seemingly perfect connection, the great conversations, and then crickets. You've been ghosted. But why does it happen? And more importantly, what can you do when you're left hanging? In this 30-second intro, we'll dive into the surprising reasons behind ghosting, from communication styles to discomfort with confrontation. We'll also equip you with practical strategies to navigate the aftermath and protect your peace. Get ready to turn that frustrating experience into a powerful learning opportunity. Today, we will talk about why ghosting happens and what to do about it. So before we start, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. 1. The digital veil and communication aversion. The rise of digital communication platforms has inadvertently created an environment ripe for ghosting. The very ease and superficiality of online interactions can foster a sense of detachment. Conversations initiated through apps, social media, or even text messages often lack the depth and personal investment of in-person interactions or phone calls. This digital veil provides a convenient shield for individuals who wish to avoid difficult conversations or emotional confrontation. Instead of facing an uncomfortable breakup, admitting a change of heart, or explaining a loss of interest, it becomes simpler to just disappear. The fear of being perceived as the bad guy or the discomfort associated with. Expressing negative emotions directly drives many to choose the path of least resistance, silence. 2. Fear of confrontation and emotional immaturity. At its core, ghosting often stems from a deep-seated fear of confrontation and a lack of emotional maturity. Individuals who ghost typically struggle with articulating their feelings, particularly uncomfortable ones like disinterest, boredom, or the desire to end a relationship. They may anticipate an angry or emotional reaction from the other person, and rather than navigate that potential discomfort, they opt out entirely. This avoidance mechanism is a sign of emotional immaturity. A mature individual understands that difficult conversations are an integral part of healthy relationships and personal growth. They prioritize respect and clarity, even when it's challenging. Ghosting also allows the ghoster to avoid taking responsibility for their actions and the potential pain they inflict. By not providing an explanation, they escape direct accountability. This can be particularly true in situations where the ghoster feels overwhelmed, stressed, or unsure of their own feelings. 3. Lack of empathy and self-preservation. A significant factor contributing to ghosting can be a profound lack of empathy, or at least a temporary suspension of it. The ghoster may not fully consider or prioritize the emotional impact their disappearance will have on the other person. This isn't necessarily malicious intent, but rather a focus on their own immediate comfort and avoidance of perceived inconvenience. In some cases, ghosting is a form of self-preservation. An individual might ghost if they feel overwhelmed, threatened, or unsafe in a relationship, even if those feelings are subjective or not objectively verifiable by an outsider. This can occur in situations of perceived clinginess, excessive demands, or even if the ghoster simply feels a connection is moving too fast or becoming too intense for them. While these are legitimate feelings, the method of ghosting still highlights a deficiency in communication skills. 4th, indecision, options, and short-term thinking. The vast array of options presented by modern dating and social apps can also contribute to ghosting. When individuals feel they have an endless supply of potential partners or connections, the incentive to invest deeply in any one connection, especially one that might require effort or difficult conversations, decreases. This paradox of choice can lead to indecision and a tendency to keep all options open. A ghoster might be genuinely unsure about their feelings for someone, and rather than communicate this uncertainty, they simply fade away. They might be juggling multiple connections and decide to pursue one that feels easier or more promising, without feeling the need to formally close out the others. This short-term thinking prioritizes immediate gratification and convenience over the long-term implications of their actions on another person's well-being. 5. The ghoster's own past. Experiences and trauma. Sometimes, the act of ghosting is a reflection of the ghoster's own past experiences or unresolved trauma. Individuals who have been ghosted themselves, or who have experienced emotional abandonment, or unreliable relationships in their past might inadvertently perpetuate the cycle. They may have learned that disappearing is a normal or acceptable way to end connections, or they may struggle with trust and intimacy, leading them to withdraw when things get too serious or vulnerable. A history of unhealthy relationship patterns, attachment issues, such as avoidant attachment, or even past emotional abuse can manifest as a tendency to ghost. It can be a protective mechanism learned from previous hurts, where vulnerability was met with pain, leading them to believe that disappearing is the safest way to prevent future suffering. 6. What to do? When you've been ghosted, prioritize self-care. If you've been ghosted, the initial shock and confusion can be overwhelming. The most crucial first step is to prioritize your self-care and emotional well-being. It's natural to feel hurt, angry, sad, or a combination of these emotions. Allow yourself to feel them without judgment. Avoid immediately jumping to conclusions or blaming yourself. Remember that ghosting is almost always about the ghoster's issues, not yours. Engage in activities that bring you comfort and joy, whether that's spending time with supportive friends and family, pursuing hobbies, exercising, or practicing mindfulness. Protect your mental space by limiting obsessive thoughts about the situation. If you find yourself constantly replaying conversations or searching for answers, gently redirect your focus. This is a time to be kind and compassionate to yourself, recognizing that you've experienced a painful and disrespectful act. 7. What to do? When you've been ghosted, resist the urge to pursue. A common and understandable reaction to being ghosted is the desperate urge to seek answers. You might feel compelled to send multiple texts, call repeatedly, or reach out on other platforms. While this desire for closure is natural, it's generally advisable to resist the urge to pursue the ghoster. Sending numerous messages often only reinforces their decision to disengage, and can make you feel more distressed if met with continued silence. One polite, non-accusatory follow-up message after a reasonable period of silence, e.g., a few days to a week, can be acceptable. Simply stating something like, "I haven't heard from you, and I wanted to check in. If you're no longer interested in connecting, I understand, but I would appreciate a clear response." If you receive no reply to this single follow-up, accept the silence as your answer. Continuing to pursue someone who has made it clear they don't wish to communicate disrespects your own dignity and prolongs your pain. 8. Moving forward, reclaiming your narrative and learning lessons. The final and most empowering step after being ghosted is to move forward and reclaim your narrative. Do not allow someone else's inability to communicate define your worth or future relationships. Recognize that ghosting is a reflection of their character and communication skills, not yours. Use the experience as a lesson, not as a source of self-blame. It highlights the importance of clear communication and mutual respect in relationships. While it's painful, it also serves as a filter, removing individuals who lack the emotional maturity or courage to engage respectfully. Focus on what you can control: your reactions, your self-esteem, and your future choices. Surround yourself with people who value open communication and demonstrate respect. When you're ready to date or form new connections, approach them with renewed self-awareness, trusting your instincts and setting boundaries that prioritize reciprocal effort and clear communication. If you liked this video and would like to see more like it, please give it the thumbs up, leave a comment, and click the button to subscribe.